on the other hand, apart from coming apart at the seams and falling into depression if you don't have any problems to solve or challenges to overcome, I have also found that people in that circumstance tend to create their own problems. There is a gentleman that I greatly respect, that he has a theory that because all throughout human history, our ancestors had to be out in the wilds, hunting, growing food. Like all of their entire life was basically based around obtain food, maintain shelter, survive. That as we have become more comfortable and more safe, and we don't have to worry about natural predators or anything well, certain societies don't have to worry about those natural predators as much, or the strain of not being able to grow your food, or problems arising with trying to maintain your shelter when you're miles away from civilization. That we have come to a point where, as a society, since we no longer have to solve or worry about those problems as a majority, we have a tendency to create our own predators. We create our own problems. We create things that we see as attacking us that really aren't. And I've also noticed that that's a trend, which I understand. Everyone's life is unique. Everyone is going through something that the rest of us can't understand. Every person we meet is fighting a war that the rest of us know nothing about. But that is a trend that I have personally noticed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I absolutely agree. Because anytime you spend long enough adapting to a particular challenge or set of challenges, provided that you survive, you're pretty much going to become skilled and proficient in dealing with them. And that way, that just kind of becomes part of the daily deal, is either doing those same things or maintaining things so you don't have to go back and do them. But then once that's taken care of, then what you've built or what you've accomplished, then it gives way to new issues. Every stage of development that you complete opens up new tragedies and new challenges and new ways to screw things up and lose. It used to be, hey guys, I almost got mauled by the lion today, to, hey guys, I almost got evicted from my apartment today.
Yes.
I mean, there's still a sense of dread that accompanies. I mean, there are many of the physiological mechanisms involved in in our fear response and in regulating positive and negative emotion, and even triggering them. They're going to come into play somehow. So it's going to be about the more basic stuff, like the survival and hunger and shelter, or it's going to be about some of the better developed stuff, like, oh shoot, I just, my wallet got stolen and now I'm $500 short of what I need. There's still fear associated with that stuff. It can still, to an extent, ruin people's lives to lose that amount of money. And then, when you have someone who has a big business, their finances are pretty much immaculately managed. They have all the food, the shelter, the transportation, and luxuries and entertainment that they that they want, they also have to work on struggling to maintain their relationships with people, because those might be going sour at any point. They have to manage their image, because when you get that kind of success, it means a lot of people, which means a lot of people might potentially want what you have if they don't. All kinds of different avenues that are opened up for people to abuse your trust, or to even try to extort things out of you, or make threats to your home or your family, and even just little ones, or seemingly minor ones, can be a big deal. So yeah, the more we advance in our development, either personally or as a society, we're finding new frontiers of loss and terror to deal with, and it's usually all new stuff. And so it's basically just the nature of life and the universe that we are going to continue to have things to deal with, no matter how much we have accomplished, because it is in our nature to engage with struggle and with conflict. And even if we have to manufacture it ourselves, it's going to happen.
Because ultimately, we each find ourselves in our struggles. Like, our struggles, it's like when, say, an artist is making a stone statue. Each chip, each chunk of rock is carefully carved and polished, and could be seen as a struggle in a person's life, carving them into who they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I have found the times in my life that I have found out the most about myself is in the periods of struggle, and it has been at the lowest, darkest times that I have learned the most about myself. So if you persist through the struggle, no matter what is being thrown at you, just keep going, take the punches, give them back as best as you can. I'm not saying it's not going to hurt, but those are the times, if you can power through the pain, those are the times that show you who you really are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you'll get some of your best life experiences that will mold you, shape you into who you're ultimately supposed to be.
And sometimes that pain, sometimes that struggle is a result of poor choices. Sometimes arriving at who we are supposed to be is a matter of, like you said, basically finding ourselves through the struggle. And sometimes that struggle comes from not responding well to other challenges and opportunities. So sometimes...
Guilty as charged.
As am I. All day long. Okay. Another gadfly moment. Who of you watching has not made it through every tough time you've ever faced? 100%. None of you. Period. Everybody watching, 100% track record of making it through every tough time you've ever come across.
I know I haven't. There's been times where I've thought things could not get any worse. There's been times that I have watched things that I poured years of my life into just collapse in a single day. I have tried to build things that I have just watched die slowly, painfully. And I have been at points in my life where I did not know where the food I was going to eat the next week was going to come from. I wasn't sure how rent was going to be paid at the end of the month. And when you're in those moments, we have the tendency to think, well, that's it. This is the end. I tried. There's nothing more I can do. But we, more often than not, we tend to find that even at those moments that we think this is the worst, it cannot possibly get any worse than this. So somehow, the vast majority of people still make it through. We figure out a way. There's a piece of the puzzle we forgot. Something falls into place. It may not always be pretty. It may not always be the way we would hope to get through that specific time. But more often than not, we still make it through, for better or worse, one way or the other. We usually still come out the other side and recuperate, regroup, and then take another swing at it.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Yeah. So when we bring this all back to the idea of what it really means to be successful, then, given that we've kind of dispensed with the notion that it means just one particular thing for everybody, I guess it becomes a matter of answering the question for yourself: what's of greatest value to you?
And who do you want to be?
And then once you've identified that, orient yourself to it and engage with the tasks, engage with the struggle. Obstacles are your path to that place, to that state of being. And if you're thinking to yourself, the path to the place that I want to be scares the living crap out of me, that's fine. That might actually be a good thing.
As a wise man once said, the life you truly want is on the other side of everything you're afraid of.
Amen. But if you find that the kind of challenge that getting to the place you want to go, the person that you want to be, if that challenge is of such a kind that you take a look at how your life has gone and you have not actually made much meaningful progress toward it, even over a long period of time, might I suggest to you that that's not something that you really want? Because the things that you are truly passionate about are the things that people can't stop you from pursuing. As in, you are already pursuing those things, no matter whether people have a resistance to offer you or setbacks come up. The things that you are passionate about, the things that you are truly dedicated to achieving, are the things that you are actually achieving, be it slowly or otherwise. And so your version of success then will be attaining that goal, will be continuing along the path that you are already treading. And if it's not financial success, that's fine. Matter of fact, let me throw in an extra tidbit. Take a look at the people around you in your life, the people that you know well and maybe some that you don't. When you see how people end up later on in their lives, the way that they settle down, or the fate that they've stuck with, or whatever else, and you look at them and be like, man, I hope I never wind up like this person. Why would they make that out of their lives? You know, when they had this and this opportunity right in front of them, they could have been so much more. They could have done this kind of thing instead of whatever they wound up doing. And and you find yourself, even if not openly, being critical of the life they chose for themselves and the life that they created, it might be helpful to examine it through the same principles we've been talking about. Is that what their goal was? Did they achieve their own version of success, even if it is vastly different from yours? It can be upsetting, it can be disappointing, it can be anticlimactic. That's for dang sure. Or it can seem like that to us. But did they achieve what they were after?
And in the words of J.R.R. Tolkien, there is no shame in a simple life.
Amen.